Welcome back to the Morning Blend with our continuing series, Money Sense with Ellenbecker Investment Group. Today, part 3 on our series, Making the Volatility of the Market Work for You, Not Against You.
Yeah, the market is always fluctuating, so how can you plan a strategy if you don't know if it's going to be up or down? Karen Ellenbecker calls this situation bases loaded. Welcome back, Karen.
I really do. I do. You know, in our last segment, we talked about growth investments, and growth investments are totally aligned with appreciation. So that works when the market's up. I mean, wow, we're all happy. The market's going, everything's up. You can harvest some of the profits. But what happens when the market is down? I mean, how do you get a portfolio working when the market's down? Again, I got my windows.
All right, yeah, I like this analogy.
Okay. So here's what happens with people's portfolios. When the market goes down, if their entire portfolio goes down, it means that it's all in one place. So if you think about my grandson, Joe, and he's out there playing baseball, and he hits a ball through this window, I'm responsible for replacing this entire window.
Yes, you are.
Now,
it's all broken.
If I've
what
been
a pain.
smart, if I'm smart,
what a pain in the glass.
Here we go. And I have panes in the window, and he shoots it through. I only lose one pane.
And that represents diversification.
And this is diversification. And you say diversification, and people go, well, I'm diversified. I have these different things. But you really have to understand how they're going to work. So my goal, like I said, Molly, is that you wake up in the morning and you hear that the market's down 30% and you say, good.
Why would you say good?
Why would you say good? Because in this box, and I know that we have a thing we're going to put up, in this center box that we're going to talk about today.
There it is.
There it is. This is the income and growth box of your portfolio. Traditionally, people think of income and growth as dividends. Stocks that pay dividends. So this is bases loaded. No matter what's happening in the market, if you have high quality investments and you're reinvesting the dividends, when the market's up, this section of the portfolio is going up, and so you're buying dividends. You're buying more shares with the dividends, but you're paying more for them.
And you'd rather buy when stocks are low.
You'd rather buy them low. So if the market goes down and you have high quality, you're actually buying more shares with those dividends when the market's down. And in this box, it's not based on the value of the shares. It's based on the amount of shares. Income is paid on the number of shares you have, not on the value.
So when you're saying you're happy because it's down, are you buying more shares of the stock that's down?
Yes,
or of different ones?
Of the stock that's down.
Of the one that's down.
The high quality stock. So if you've got a share price that's up at $32 and you're reinvesting your dividends, you're buying it at 32. But if the market corrects and you're buying at 28, you're buying the same share at 28. You're increasing your income. So now you've got two asset classes, one that's working when the market's up and one that's working when the market is either up or down. It's typically considered total return portion of your portfolio.
Well, and I'm going to read this because this is an important point that you make. The more times the market goes down before you start taking income, the more income you will have because income's paid based on, like you said, the number of shares you own, not the value of those shares. So
this gets to back to what is the plan. When you get up in the morning, they say the market's up 30%. You go, oh, I have 20% of my money associated there. And I've got 40% associated with maybe the income and growth, depending on your age. So someone who is much younger may want to take the risk of having more growth, looking for that home run. Someone who is getting a little bit older or has a less of a feeling of risk might say, you know what, I'd rather take a road that gives me bases loaded and something happening all the time rather than trying to go for the home run.
So here are the 3 questions you need to ask yourself based on today's bases loaded segment is, do you have a strategy for future income? Does your portfolio work for you in a down market, and do you own quality investments?
Yes.
How do you know if you have quality investments?
Talking to your advisor, making sure that you're doing your research. As I said before, nobody wants to buy stale bread on sale.
Right.
You know, you want to get your favorite thing on sale. So the portfolio works for you if you have high quality investments, if you understand the risk that's involved in those investments. And investing can be fun. I mean, you can see, I love it. And it can.
And it's good that you love it, because if you don't love it, she does.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, you need somebody in your
Yes.
corner that loves it that much so that you're excited, you know everything. This is fun for you, even if it's not
Yes.
fun for some of your
And
clients at
asking your
first.
advisor, can you explain to me what happens when the market goes down? What can I expect? And you know, most people are looking for income, generating income. And we talked about your income, your investment portfolio being your own personal business. Ask yourself, would I invest in this business if I was someone else? Could I take this to Molly and say, you want to invest in this business? I mean, if you've got a business that's working no matter what's going on with the market, yeah, you'd be happy to invest in it.
Do you have to be somebody who's comfortable with risk to get into investing?
Well, yes, it's always yes and no to you. The thing of it is, remember that you have to be aware of taxes. We don't know what's happening with taxes. We don't know what's happening with inflation, healthcare costs, unexpected events, and risk of the market. So you have to, unless you are such a gazillionaire, and that of course depends on how much you sell, you've got to keep up with these different issues in the market. So I believe that everybody needs to have some growth according to the risk that you're willing to take, according to the amount of money you have to spend. So sitting down at your age today and looking and saying, my retirement, even though it's out there somewhere, you can predict based on what you're spending today, based on what you're saving, based on your plan today, where will you be in 10 years or 20 years?
That's going to sound really good.
And you may say, I want to save a little bit more, or I'll be able to spend more than I have. You know, it's tough. You've got kids in school.
Yeah,
well, just tough
knowing
to
that
say.
plan.
You know, it's tough to say. Why shouldn't your money be working for you? The little that you have the ability to tuck away, make sure it's working for you.
You've got this free copy right now for people who want to get their hands on it for choosing a financial advisor. All you need to do is call Ellenbecker Investment Group at 262-691-3200 for your free copy. And here's how you can connect with Karen. If you're not certain that you own investments that are working for you as hard as you've worked to save them, call and make an appointment to review your current investments with her. Because once you understand how they can work, you'll feel more comfortable, less stressed out, and have a little fun with it. 262-691-3200 or ellenbecker.com. Thanks, Karen.
Thank you.
Really good
Appreciate it.
stuff. Nice to have you on the show today.